Hey everybody, taking a shot at a short sort of informal video as I sit here really grateful and inspired on a Sunday morning as our Physiology First initiative and our GoFundMe campaign is getting more and more traction. We had a lot of traction on the campaign this morning, and I wanted to share a little more about our initiative, our effort, the backstory behind it, and what I think we can accomplish together. So through Physiology First, we're working to share tools from the leading edges of the performance training community with the next generation of leaders who needs them most, and that's the students in America's classrooms. We need to, I believe, support them at a higher level and give them the best tools to manage a very, very, very complicated and ever-changing future. Right? We're going to have more diversity in economic turns and economic shifts and economic changes in the next couple of years than we've had in the past couple decades, right? Economies and industries will fall, economies will change, opportunities will arise, challenges as we integrate new technologies into our lives are going to emerge. And I believe that we really need a troop of dedicated, high agency, confident, collected, fulfilled, happy leaders who are going to manage this ship before we crash it. That's a big part of this initiative. This is well beyond simple empathy. Like, oh, we should help students. Of course we should help students. We should help each other. But at the heart of all this, we have a future to prepare for, and not all of us are going to lead it, right? It's going to be the people coming out of high schools and colleges who are going to lead this ship. We want to help them steer it with accuracy. So, my background in all this, I'm really, I don't mind sharing my own journey. Like, in 8th grade, I was kicked out of school. And I was diagnosed with everything from manic depression to, God, I can't even think of the list of things that were supposed to be wrong with me and the list of medications that were supposed to fix this. Now, I didn't take that path. I took a different path. I took a path of having to figure out my life over the next couple decades and figure out, well, how will I succeed without this conventional education? What tool sets or skill sets do I want to take from the toolbox that I'm going to need to navigate potential poverty, homelessness, everything that comes from being on the street at a really young age and trying to figure all this stuff out. I knew that I wanted to work for myself. I run a business now, the Distance Project. We run another company, which is Brave Fitness, that puts out leading edge performance training apps and allows us to scale those apps to people. The path from that 8th grade, you're out the door, to today where I'm feeling really good, I feel really, really inspired, grateful, and happy, was a long one and a circuitous one, but it's one that if I didn't have tools around managing my own emotional state and mental state, I wouldn't have succeeded. I would have fallen right into the cracks of this whole thing, The cracks look like mental health issues, they look like drug addiction, they look like isolation, they look like depression, they look like suicide, they look like jail. There's a lot of pitfalls we can fall into in this game of life, and our initiative seeks to help students navigate their way around those pitfalls and succeed at a high level. Now, when we talk about mental health as a populace, we seem to talk about it in a really strange and backwards way. For one, we almost seem to talk about it as nothing but the opposite of mental illness. Like we say it's Mental Health Awareness Week. But I don't hear a conversation around mental health. I just hear a subtle conversation around this thing we call mental illness that we haven't yet really defined in any articulate way, right? If mental health is the apex of human performance, that'd be like saying that physical health is the apex of human performance and that there's nothing on the other side which is called fitness, high performance. I don't want to be healthy, I want to be fit, right? I'm an athlete, I'm a coach. I don't want to be mentally healthy, meaning I can navigate from point A to point B without being in a spiral of depressive episodes or psychosis. I want to be mentally fit, and I actively work to peak my own cognition. Our brain is like super, super, super malleable. It's this ever-changing machine, and it's completely neuroplastic. We can improve upon it, and it can improve on itself. It's kind of a cool organ that way. I don't know that if we're unable to arm the next generation of leaders with more information about their own neurobiology, their own physiology, and how they work, that they're going to be able to navigate these pitfalls, which are ahead of all of us as we move into the future, with expert skill. So we have to ask, who's navigating challenges with expert skill and expertise? Dr. Kelly Starrett, who we've had the pleasure of meeting, and we are students of his in many ways. We're big fans of Mobility WOD and everything he's doing. Uses the idea of let's look at what the Formula One race cars are doing. What's happening at the edges of human performance? The best, the Olympians, the people rocking at the highest level, they have a lot of support. There's a lot of people around them giving them powerful tools and testing out protocols. Who's performing at the highest level? Let's take those protocols, and I believe we can scale them a whole lot earlier to a generation of leaders who need them. it took me, I must have been in my mid-30s before I discovered the work of Brian McKenzie, Dr. Andrew Huberman, Rob Wilson, Stephen Porges of polyvagal theory. I'm trying to think of the other many influencers. Chris Duffin of Kabuki Strength, amazing individual. Kelly Starrett himself. Just hitting that. I didn't want the camera to die. But there were so many people who influenced us, and it took me so long to find them. It was like this endless maze. And when you do, you realize that as a species, we know a lot more than, there's a lot we don't know, a whole lot, right? But we know more than I think most people are given access to around kind of how we work. So our goal is to share with the next generation of leaders better tools on managing physiology, managing stress, managing anxiety, and peaking mental performance, to remove the stigma around mental health and have a powerful, positive conversation on mental fitness. And to give them tools that a lot of us didn't have, because God, they're going to lead the ship at a very, very, very tumultuous time in the waters there, right? The future is going to be exciting, inspiring, and scary. There are going to be big challenges. And if we can provide the next generation of leaders the skill set to navigate those challenges now, we're going to have a future we can collectively be proud of. Let's do that. Let's make that happen. That's our goal. So please visit our GoFundMe campaign. You're going to see more of what we're working to do. Thank you to everyone who supported it and moved the needle. Some amazing people in the game right now. We're honored, we're grateful, and we're sending all of our love out from the Distance Project.